And sometimes getting to that other side means packing up the bare essentials, leaving all that other stuff behind, and just getting through to get to the other side of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, yeah.
That's powerful. That's powerful.
Yep.
And I can't wait for this project to come to the screen. That's amazing. And then, you know, again, I think it goes back to the spirit of you that I'm getting through this call, you know, wanting to pour into other people, wanting to share your truth to strengthen other ladies, strengthen other women. And I think it's so important to get the message out there because there's so much, you know, shame and fear and just brokenness surrounding domestic violence.
Mm-hmm.
So
the first picture that I have that's in Essence magazine of me, the interview that they did, people often to this day, they're like, oh, my God, that picture's so beautiful. I remember that picture. And I want to tell people so bad it's the face of domestic violence because I'm smiling, but what you can't see is that my jaw is wired shut because it's broken.
Wow.
But there's joy on the other side of it.
Yes. Amen. And I'm so glad that you're on the other side. Now, let's talk about your book because, you know, time goes so fast with these interviews and you're just such an intriguing woman to talk with. So tell us about your new book, Large and in Charge. When we crack the spine on that book, what did you want us to see?
Large and in Charge.
Yep. Who do we meet? Who are the heroes, the heroine, and what do you want us to get from that story?
I really wanted to show, I'm really big on all of my friends. I'm big on friendship. Like, I love dynamics of friendship. I'm big on friendship. And sometimes it is those friends that actually pull you up from the bottom. You know, a lot of times when we're on top, we have all of these amazing friends. But what happens when you hit rock bottom? Mm-hmm. What does that friendship look like? When you have a friend that has to love you back to life. And I wanted to show sometimes in that person loving you back to life because you need them. But what happens when you're alive again? Because now, is it a friendship or is it a codependency? Because it's a thin line between friendship and codependency. Because we need, but then there are some people that need to be needed in order to feel like they're valued. So I wanted to show like this amazing friendship between these girls. Yeah. And just how it teeters on friendship and codependency. And where do we draw that line at?
Yeah. Now, who is your main character in the story? And
my main characters are, there's two characters. There is Devin, who was a former bikini swimsuit fashion model by the name of DeMorgan. That was her alias. She was DeMorgan. And she was at the top of the game. She was having the wedding of the year. And in an instant, her entire life changes on her wedding day. No less. But right by her side is Asha, her best friend to the end.
Who
and
don't
Asha,
like the fiance, Tramiel.
Who does not like her fiance for good reason. For good reason. But Asha is such a stand-up person, and she reminds me of so many of my friends. Like, there's so many of her that she's a component of my strong friends. Like, I think I took a component of this person and that person and this person, and I just put them all into Asha because I have some amazing, strong friends that are borderline controlling, but I know sometimes I need to be controlled because I'm LaJill. So God is like, let me put this friend in her life because she needs somebody that's gonna rein her back in. But no, it's the friendship between the two of them.
Lisa and I, we can see each other in StreamYard, and she's laughing because I'm pointing at myself. I'm like, oh my gosh, yes, I am a control freak. I admit it. Hello, my name is Sierra London. I'm a control freak.
Yes. So you're that friend that's like, girl, no, what you're not gonna do? Like, no. Like.
Yeah, yes. I am forever that friend saying, okay, but the way I see it is, or maybe you should consider, like strongly consider.
Yes. Now imagine you're the strong friend, and you're like the mother hen friend, and all of a sudden, your friend is like, you're like, girl, where you been? Oh.
Yes. Yes.
Ow.
That.
Woohoo.
Yes.
What? Oh. What?
Yes.
Out where? Because now you're like, out with who? Where'd y'all go? Like, do I know this person? What? And so because Devin knows how, Asha is, she's just like, I don't even feel like being bothered with her. So let me just keep this little piece of my life over here to myself.
Yes.
But yeah. So it's just how they really, their friendship, you'll see the development of a true friendship. The good and the bad and the ugly and all of it.
Okay.
I tell people it's like watching Beaches with Black people, like for real.
Oh, I love that movie. I love that movie. I didn't realize it until somebody said that. She was like, oh my God, I felt like I was reading Beaches, but with Black people. I was like, oh, yes, you gotta live a little, lose a little. Like, yes. That's what my friend is. Okay, I love it. Okay, don't say that all together fast, right? No, that is great. So, I'm sorry, Lisa, go ahead. You know me, I keep talking. So, you mentioned you have 32 books out there for our audience to just gobble up. And we talked about Large and in Charge, but where would you recommend our listeners start in your catalog, in your literary catalog?
Okay. I've been writing since 2003, so I was much younger when I started writing. So if you want a young vibe that's like, oh, okay, these my girls in the club, like, yes. And you would start with Drama Queen. Like, Drama Queen, No More Drama, Shoulda, Woulda, Coulda. Like, that whole series is about, like, the whole late 20s. We're just finding who we want to marry. Do I want to marry him? Do I want to get with him? Do I want to have a one-night stand with him? Like, all of that type of drama.
Okay, like a new adult vibe.
Yes. Okay. Now I'm old adult, so I started writing a couple of years ago. What I tagline is grown folks drama. So if you want the grown folks drama with the people that have been married for 20 years and are about to be empty nesters, and you're celebrating your 20-year wedding anniversary, and one night you get a phone call and it's the wrong number because they're looking for your husband, and the next day you find out that your husband has a 15-year-old daughter that you never knew about because she has to come and live with you because the mom was killed in a car accident, then you would start with midlife crisis. That's
okay.
Okay.
I'm getting a knock on the head.
Oh my goodness! Like, baby, I'm so glad you called. Your daddy in the hospital too. Oh my goodness.
Yes, So, I wrote a series. My publishers some kind of way called it the Loyalty series, but it's Midlife Crisis and Imitation of Wife, and the third one is called All in Love is Fair, and it's grown folks, married folks, good, like, I call it my drama. I'm old now, and my friends are old, and we deal with real life stuff.
Yeah.
So,
no.
Wait a minute, now we're not old.
No,
Not
Yeah.
that label on us.
We
We not old.
grown now. We grown. We real
We
grown.
grown. There you go.
Yes.
There you go. We
And
grown.
I love to hear people say what they want. It wouldn't be me because I wouldn't until they read the book.
Right.
Woo! And then they say, well, I get that's what I thought. And that's what my goal for some reason has become. I want people to think they know, what they do until they actually get inside and see things for what they really are. So I really wanted to dive into what the happy marriage is subjective.
Mm-hmm.
What's happy to you may not be happy to someone else. So I really
it may not even be happy to yourself.
Exactly. Now I'm not married, so I really found it quite interesting because I was like, what? And I went to my friends that were marriage counselors. I went to like a Christian therapist, just like, okay, so what? How does this happen? How does this work in marriage? Because I don't know, because I've never had like a functional marriage. But I learned some stuff, and I was like, oh, this is some good book material. But I love it. It's good. I love it. So that's my grown folk stuff. And then I have
okay. Well, you just sold me on this midlife crisis. I got to read that.
Yes. Now I want some grown folks drama. Now, LaJill, we're winding down. We don't even have 5 minutes left. But I want to ask you a question, and I usually ask something, that's not quite book related. So today marks 1 year that the U.S. has been in quarantine. And I want to ask you, how have you been able to keep writing? And what advice do you have for authors who might be struggling to get words on the page or, just struggling?
I was able to continue writing by, one, I write full time, so if I don't write, I don't get a paycheck. So that was quite motivating.
That works.
I'm a staff writer, so I write books and I write for the TV show. So that kind of helped. But believe it or not, and I ended up going to therapy. Probably the pandemic started in like March, and about the end of May, I was like, I got to go see a therapist because, I didn't even go see a therapist. It was telehealth. And one of the ways I started functioning with my anxiety was I had to go back to the familiar. So I began writing with Little House on the Prairie as my white noise because I know what's going to happen. I know what Laura's going to do. I know what's going to happen, with Mary and Charles, and that was my white noise. And it was so peaceful, and it took me back to childhood, and it was so calming. I was able to, listen and not have to pay attention because you know what's going to happen. Laura's going to marry Almanzo, and they're going to have baby Rose. And, all of it's, familiar, and it's calming. And I started watching Dallas. I found Dallas on, that. So I watched stuff that was familiar and made me feel like at a time when, I was young and happy and joyous. And it actually stimulated my creativity. It really did. And I'm also big on music too. So I was listening to soundtracks from old TV shows and stuff. So I got back to the familiar.
Wow. Well, LaJill, I want to thank you so much for joining us here on Women on Words. It has been an absolute pleasure. And I hope that you will come back and share with our audience again. So, ladies, we are at the end. LaJill, tell us where we can find you in 10 seconds online.
10 seconds. I can be found on Facebook, LaJill Hunt. I can be found on Instagram, LL Cool Jill, Twitter, LA Cool Jill. Just go to Facebook. That's where I'm at most of the time. Find me, inbox me, message me. I am right there. Right on. My whole life is on display.
Awesome. All right, audience. until next time, we'll be back on the air March 18th with author Ashante East. So until next time, be awesome, be amazing, be wow. Good night, everybody.
Good night. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate it.